me be clear, Madam Speaker, this is not a personal motion about the Minister of National Security, member for Laventille West. It's not a motion about whether he is qualified or not to occupy his ministerial portfolio, or whether he cares about his job or not. I believe, Madam Speaker, the people of Trinidad and Tobago can easily deduce those things and have done so already. This motion is simply about one word, and that is, Madam Speaker, accountability. Madam Speaker, when we look at the presentations of our contributions from members on the other side, I think they have ignored this word or this theme or this concept of accountability. You see, in this House, we all sit as elected members who have taken a sworn oath to serve the best interest of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Madam Speaker, a country's Minister of National Security, whosoever he or she may be, is tasked with the responsibility of, and let me repeat that word, responsibility. Whosoever is the Minister of National Security, their responsibility is to manage the security of the nation, and in so doing, keep the people safe. People in our nation are living in a state of fear, and that is putting it mildly, Madam Speaker. Last year, there were over 600 murders recorded in our country. That's a shameful and unholy record in our history. Daylight robberies, home invasions, murders, gang-related activity are all now synonymous with life in Trinidad and Tobago, just as we would speak of doubles and bacon shack. I see my colleague, member for Diego Martin, he's smiling at this. But just as we like our doubles and bacon shack, we are now somehow hampered because of the criminal activity. Of course, our citizens, Madam Speaker, don't expect Minister Hinds to personally go out and solve the murders. What they expect, however, is a government minister to reassure them that his ministry is working on strategies and policies to save lives. And as I say strategies and policies, I want to just respond to something I had heard. At first, when I heard it being said once, stated once by the previous speaker, member for Port of Spain South, I thought it was just an error, but he kept repeating it, Madam Speaker. It was disappointing to hear that the member of parliament for Port of Spain South, that he was, at the last session, he appears not to understand how our system of government work. In that, he kept saying that, and referring to several pieces of legislation. And in so doing, he was saying, based on these pieces of legislation, the government has been forming policy and then seeking to implement it. Now, I think that that is putting, as they say, Madam Speaker, in common parlance, you're dropping the gear into reverse. We have a system of governance whereby it is the cabinet, the government of the day, will set policy, Madam Speaker. Whatever they see as necessary for good governance, they formulate policy. There's a way that the executive arm and the legislative arm operate. So when the cabinet and the government formulates the policy, it is there that they will now use that policy to inform the legislative framework. So it is quite on the reverse. But why do I make reference to that very quickly? It is because it is telling as to why it is the government does not have any control on the spiral in crime. They are working in reverse.